Hey, great to see you again. Welcome back. Dr. Chris here, Accelerated Healing Specialist. Not talking about rapid release today. I'm not releasing a muscle right now. This is really for those of us who the world has sort of pushed aside. And you're one of them. There are people who are really good at visualizing, and the world is sort of catered to the visual. If you've ever taken a guided meditation, it's close your eyes, imagine that you're at a waterfall and there's a lake there and there's 14 trees with fruit. So now I'm sitting here having someone talk at me about all of this, and I'm still trying to picture a lake and a waterfall, and I'm throwing trees out there and I'm putting pears on them, even though it's only just like red smudges with red outlines on a dark field, and I'm really pushing it. And then they tell me that the fruit is going to be a banana. So now I have to erase this whole thing that I've already tried to construct and try to put it back together in another way, which doesn't work. And I start falling heavily into the analytical part of my brain, which pulls me completely out of what we'd call alpha and back into what we'd call beta. Certainly not in theta or delta. So I'm going from that state of relaxation, intuition, where I'm intending, but because it's so heavily visual push, I'm falling back into the chatter of the mind because I'm becoming frustrated. I'm using force. So, what I'm doing in my programs is catering to those of us who, as we might call it, are neurodivergent, but we're actually sensory divergent. We have predominant, which is going to be visual, audio, or kinesthetic perceptions. In the process of growth, I'm working on rounding out and becoming more visual. But it doesn't just happen by force, it happens over time through trust and through letting go. Anyone that has a very loud inner voice may have issues with visualization. Also, a very active mind can push out, and that's that loud inner voice, can push out the visual area. I've actually experienced that during meditation. I've felt it, seen it, and know it. So there's a lot of steps in my program that help to open that up, to create the room, to allow magnetically to open it, not by force, because force will push it closed every single time. But from point A to point B, I'm primary kinesthetic. That's just my default. Doing 20 plus years of acupuncture, I've really been falling heavily into the kinesthetic realm. So I feel. And secondary is auditory. I get most of my guidance and messages through songs, through things I hear. But I do love the visual, believe me. But if I try to force this on you, when that's not your default, you're gonna fail. I've failed for very, very, very long time. And I learned so much in that. I'd rather help you avoid those pitfalls. Work with where you are because you can never be anywhere else. And then we work on activating the other consciousnesses in you to give you that access without force. I'm working on visual also as a way to unlock higher levels of memory. And I get connected to it more easily. I'm able to use it more easily, and I'm able to let it go and happen with much greater ease. But I still have a ways to go. When I was at a recent seminar, there were people, we were memorizing series of numbers, and the only way to memorize it at that point is visually. And there were people who got to the 72 numbers, they could do it forward and back. I got maybe to 30 something, which was a lot better than some people did, but not nearly what I was hoping for. Because in order to get to those higher numbers, you see, I can still mess around a little bit in my mind. I can still use auditory cues at the numbers I was at. In order to get to the higher numbers, those have to be let go completely, and the visual becomes the primary. So I'm still working on it. And I'm going to use insights that I gain to help you to move more quickly and to give you the support to become more whole and complete. But honoring and respecting where you are is the only way to do this. And since I'm one of you, I understand. So, there are meditations Also guided hypnosis that's based on being non-visual. So I will not have you create a lake with a tree with 14 different fruits or going down to the bottom of the stairs to bring up this and that. It's going to be based a lot more on feeling. It's going to be based a lot more on knowing and a lot less. I will use visual because it's helpful. I could say you're going into a grand room. The walls are painted yellow, and oh my goodness, the way people present things, even the best people will say, okay, now lift your finger on your left hand. No, that's not nice to do to people like me and like you. Because I'll do something, I'll lift my finger because we were talking about the right hand, and then I get told on my left hand. Now what have I done? I've made a mistake. That's the way I process it. I didn't actually make a mistake. So when I present the information to you in the meditations, first of all, there are no mistakes for you. So if you do something that's not exactly as I say it, just give yourself a pass. Not a problem. But also, I will consciously be aware that I give instructions in an order that you're able to follow without having to erase. Because the erasing, the way my consciousness works, irks me. It pulls me out of the smooth alpha flow and back into the conscious mind of having to calibrate, rethink, redo self-referential stuff. And if it's not resonant with you, anything that I put out there, whether it's free content or paid content, if it's not resonant, let me know. Chris at acceleratedhealingsystem.com or scarsdalehealth@gmail.com. That's my acupuncture one. Let me know, leave a comment, whatever it is, because all I want to do is continue to improve, and your feedback makes me better, and me being better helps you. So don't be afraid to challenge. Don't be afraid to throw it out there. Tell me, wow, you really missed me on this one. Now, if you're a highly visual person, what I'm putting together should work with you because visual is the fastest of the fields. So I go at a different pace for the kinesthetic. I go at a different pace for auditory. Kinesthetic is the slowest. You should be able to calibrate down to it, and frankly, it could be extremely relaxing, and it will still involve visual components. And what we know from hypnosis as well as from meditation is the more I provide an open canvas for you, the more your creativeness gets to flow. So if I tell you there's a tree with 14 fruit and they're pears and they're red, you see right there, that's something that'll mess me up so hard because I'd create golden pears and then they make it red and I have to erase it and put it back, and anyway, it makes me really upset. That's how the meditations that I've dealt with or the guided hypnosis that I've dealt with tended to go. Instead, for me, it would be like, you're in a meadow and it's a very calming meadow. You feel your body relaxing into the grass. You feel the grass against your skin. You feel the calmness of your body as you connect with the earth, the tension melting away. There's a rustle of the winds as it passes through the leaves and the trees and the grass. Now, that may mess you up a little. Don't let it, because you may not have had trees, but you could put one in the distance. I'm just making this up on the fly, but that's sort of where I would go. I'd give you a lot more time. As you take your next breath, you feel your body relaxing even deeper as the stillness and the connection starts to penetrate into the cells of your body. Every breath releasing more tension as you trust yourself, as you trust your world, and you allow yourself to let go. Anyway, that's just an example. Instead of all the visual stuff. Because frankly, and it's amazing, one of the best authors for hypnotherapy training, also not visual, and he says straight out in his books, he was going to all these hypnotherapists and they were visualizing the hell out of him and he wasn't seeing it, and he just started yesing them. I don't want you to have to yes anyone. I want you to only yes yourself, like, yeah, I'm doing great. I want you to get the results. That's the only purpose for this. It's not for you to make me feel good. I feel fine. So there's the hypnosis section, the downloads, any hypnosis that I create for you, unless specified otherwise, is going to not be heavily visual. Again, you can create anything you want now. I'm leaving you a wide open world to create. It's non-specific. And you can really, really dial in to yourself and expand that person. I hope this helps you, because frankly, I wish someone had done this for me 20 years ago instead of me having to think I'm doing everything wrong. Because you're not doing it wrong. They've been trying to make you fit into their model and their mold. Well, we're not all like that. Dr. Chris, Accelerated Healing Specialist. Chris at acceleratedhealingsystem.com. I'll talk to you soon.